Please send in Justin Phelps.
Good morning.
Morning.
I'm Justin Feltz. Here's a copy of my resume. Did you need any additional copies?
No, thank you.
Sit here.
Yes, please. All right, so tell us how your education and experience have prepared you for this position.
Well, the experience gives you all the technical knowledge that we're going to need for the job, as far as intake, processing of people. But the experience that I feel I bring with me is years of interaction with people that have been through the process, through substance abuse, and spent time in jail.
Okay. Describe a time when you went beyond your job requirements to achieve an objective.
So I currently work at Steel King, and one of the bosses had talked about the cost of treating water. Currently we treat it, and the city allows us to put it down the drain when we achieve our objectives. And they had talked about us not being able to do that and incurring the cost of $11,000 a year. And I got to thinking about the process that I do and how we could treat it, but also reuse the water several times before we had to put it down the drain, or in this case, outsource it, have it taken away and treated elsewhere. So though I wasn't asked to do that, as part of my process, I got to thinking on how we could not spend that money and use that money either for shop improvements or other things, because that profit pretty much comes right off the top.
Okay. Tell me about a time when you shared your experience and expertise to motivate someone else.
So after I was a member of the fire department for 11 years, and right after my promotion to an engineer, we had made it on scene to my very first call as an engineer, and I struggled to get the pump in order. I couldn't engage the pump, and though I've trained on it numerous times, the pressure started mounting because we had people getting ready to go in. So after that, I took that as experience that I did some self-reflection on, hey, what did I do wrong? What could I have done different? And what can I do to prevent that from ever happening again? So I spent a lot of time down there throwing all kinds of different scenarios of potential problems that could happen. And when I became a training officer, about a year later, I took that previous learning experience and I really made sure that anyone training to operate the truck knew it inside and out, not just working off a checklist, but knowing if you take out one aspect, how does that change that checklist you work off of.
That's very good. So what sets you apart from the other applicants applying for this position?
Honestly, I think it's experience. Most of my co-students were younger. So for me, those life experiences you can't replicate, you can't duplicate, and you can't make up. Either you've gone through those experiences or you haven't. And I think every experience that you go through, even if it's a negative one, has a positive spin to it, to where you can learn something from it and move forward with that knowledge, and hopefully not making that mistake again.
Tell us why you want to work here specifically.
Because I think it's a good bridge between people that are outside, people that are inside. Either, basically these people are looking at a second chance, and many of them will have underlying issues that cause them to be in the situation they're in. Or people are looking at getting released early and want to come back, but they want to do so successfully. And I think being a part of getting someone changed around before they go into incarceration, or getting out early and transitioning to a successful, meaningful part of society is huge for me.
Okay. So tell us what you would do in this situation. You have a client, an offender, who is yelling at you, telling you they wish you would die, and you are the most useless person on this planet. How would you handle this?
Obviously something triggered them. Maybe they're having a bad day. To be honest, if you can just sit back, we have to have a little bit thicker skin. You have to be able to take criticism and take situations not always going as you planned. Letting that person just kind of vent a little bit. Sometimes they just need to be heard. Obviously, if they were physically aggressive, that's a different scenario. But if they're just kind of venting, I would let that kind of go to an extent.
All right, are there any questions you have for us?
The biggest question I have is, I did look over the site. I did ask people that were close to the field, but education is important to me. So you get an education, and a lot of people think that, hey, I'm good, I have the education, but I think in order to be proficient in your field, you have to continue education with the latest techniques and things that are working inside the field. So I'm just curious to know, is there opportunities along the way to advance education inside this field to help us better do our job inside the field?
Yes, actually, we do keep up to date with the education, make sure that our people know what's going on and how to handle all the situations.
Okay, so that's something that's available.
Yes.
If we want it, we can go as far as we want. Okay, thank you.
Is there anything else?
No, I guess I'm just excited for the opportunity to be here. I want to thank you for the opportunity to interview with you. Hopefully I look forward to hearing back from you shortly, and I appreciate your time.
All right, well, it was great meeting you. We'll go over it and let you know. Thank you.
Thanks. Bye.